Hey, William Gilmore here for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. It is September 25th, which is day 25 of the new season on the journey. And I don't have a whole lot to report. It has been a very slow month on the writing front. I basically haven't done any writing. I've been in sort of a funk and just haven't wanted to do it, basically, is what it comes down to. I just haven't found the energy or the motivation to sit down and do any writing, and that's for a number of reasons. If you've been following along, I did a three-part series on disrespect towards screenwriters, how they're insulting directors and actors and things like that, and going to the Action on Film Festival where I sat through a talk back where the actors basically said screenwriters are not necessary, just give it to the actors and let them figure it out on their own. That was somewhat disrespectful, I thought. So it was a number of things like that. And then I went to a rewrites workshop 2 weeks ago. It was two workshops back, a week and a half ago, where a number of people did not show up because they went to a seminar at the Egyptian Theater here in Los Angeles, where the speaker was giving a seminar on writing with the camera. And the writers all came back from that workshop or that seminar. And basically what they learned was that the writer's not important. In fact, it's probably best not to have a completed script when you're filming your movie because you want to be able to tell the story with the camera and figure out things with the camera and determine the story from a visual standpoint, and things that are on the page inhibit that and get in the way. So do away with the script and basically do away with the writer. There was apparently a lot of applause from the audience, and the writers from the group who went said they just kind of sat there in shock and didn't know what to say. So it's just been a non-stop cascade of events over this past month of just really coming down hard on the writer. And those weren't the only events. There were other things that happened. One of the big things that really took the wind out of my sails was the Screencraft horror competition that I had submitted the calling to. I did not advance at all. Did not make it to the quarterfinals. And that was disappointing. And I'm trying to be as transparent and open about my feelings on this. It would have been easy just to shut up and not say anything, and maybe that would be the smart thing to do. But that's what the journey's all about, is experiencing what a screenwriter goes through and some of those insecurities and self-doubt at times. So I was disappointed that the script did not advance because there's been a lot of work done on it. It's gone through a number of rewrites. It's been workshopped. It's gotten good coverage notes and a lot of good comments from readers. So I was feeling really positive about it, and I was hoping if I can just make the quarterfinals, I'll be happy. I'll know that I'm on the right track and there's something here. And it didn't do that. And so that was disappointing. But then they announced the semifinalists. And I got the list because I'm on the Screencraft email list. And I started going through the list and looking at all the different people that had been chosen. And I thought, I wonder if I can find any of these scripts online and read them and just see what it was, that put them above me and they got selected for the competition. And that may not have been a smart thing to do. Now, it's something that I have done before. A number of years ago, I had written a play and had submitted it to a play competition. And although it was an honorable mention, it did not win. But I was curious who the winner was and what that script was and how much better was it than my script, because I felt pretty good about my script. And so I contacted that writer. He lived in upstate New York, I believe it was. And I was living in New York City at the time, and I had a small theater company. And I asked the writer if I could see the script. Could I read it? And he was like, sure. So he sent it to me, and I read that script. And you know what? It was pretty damn good. It was really good. I won't say that it was necessarily better than mine, but it was pretty damn good. It was different. There were two completely different styles of theatrical pieces.
So it's hard to judge, which one is really better than the other. I'm sure he would think his was better than mine. I thought mine was probably better than his. But, it's one of those subjective things. And the point was, it was a good script. It was so good, I wanted to produce it. Because like I said, I had a theater company. We were doing showcase theater in New York. And I brought it into the group, and we did a cold reading of it with all the actors. So there were great roles for some of our actors in our troupe, and everybody loved it. They were like, we want to do this. This is great. Can we get the rights? I said, well, let me find out. Let me ask the writer. So I went back to the writer, and I said, hey, we read it. We love it. We want to do it. Would you give us the rights to do it in New York City? And his question was, will you get a review in the New York Times? And I was like, probably not. We're a small showcase theater, and the Times just doesn't do that, except in very, very rare occasions. And he declined because he wanted. He didn't just want a world premiere in New York. He wanted a New York Times review, and I understand that, but I was like, best of luck to you. Chances are it's not going to happen. Not right away, anyway. And last I checked, and it's been a couple of years now, I checked to see if the show had been done in New York, and it still has not been done in New York. So he missed out on an opportunity, but it was a choice he wanted, to make, and he's holding out for that, and more power to him. But the point I'm trying to make in this long roundabout way is that, yes, I have actually looked at other winning scripts that have beaten me out before, and have gone, these are great. The script is great, and I'd love to produce this piece. So this time around, I went, let me see if I can find some of these scripts. So I went online and did a search and went through about half the list, and I found 3 of them. I found 3 scripts online. One of them has won numerous times and placed in numerous festivals and competitions. So I sat down to read them. One was just a typical slasher kind of flick. College kids, getting cut up, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But it was a young writer, and female. She did it as her senior thesis, and she's made semifinals. So okay, not a great script, but whatever. The next one was. It had a beginning, middle, and an end, and it had sort of a decent concept behind it, but the execution was very, very poor. Lots of stereotypes, and just plot holes for days. Things set up and established, and then never come back again. And just really bizarre things that characters did that were completely out of character from what had been established, and it was not a well written script. It did have a beginning, a middle, and end, and it had sort of this interesting idea behind it that was not capitalized on very well. And that brought me to the third script, which was atrocious. And by atrocious, I mean not readable. I still haven't finished it. I've done about 2/3 of it, and it's so bad. Terrible dialogue, no forward progression really in the scenes. It's just bad. It's really, really bad, and full of stage directions and full of camera directions, and it's just not good. It's really not good. But I thought, well, maybe I'm jaded, maybe I'm jealous, I'm envious, certainly some anger going on here. So I thought, well, let me get some outside references on this. Maybe I'm just not seeing something here because I'm disappointed in myself. So I sent it out to some friends. Some of them I told why I was sending it, and others I said, hey, have a look at these. Tell me what you think. And the comments came back, particularly on the one, were like, please don't make me read anymore. I've only read 6 pages. I can't read another one. Why did you send this to me? What is the point of this? I have better things to do with my time than read bad screenplays. And that's when I said, okay, this is why I sent it. And people were all sort of similarly shocked as I was. And
it really boggles my mind that these scripts in a big competition of Screencraft. One of the one wasn't even a horror film. I'm not sure how it advanced because it's a thriller, not really a horror, and I did not understand why that had advanced at all. One's in the wrong genre, and two, it's just badly written. And someone told me it might be because of diversity issues. When they did their initial reading, they went, "These are our 10 best screenplays. These are the ones that are going to be in the finals. We know that they're really good. So we've got all these slots that we have to fill for quarterfinals and semifinals. You know, let's encourage some people, encourage some diversity. So we have a screenplay by a young woman. Yeah, we'll advance that one. It's not going to win. We already know that, but we'll advance it. This one's about black homosexuals. So we get 2 minority groups with one screenplay. You know, we can encourage that. This one's about a Japanese American family. We can encourage more writing about Asian Americans. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is that all these people may have paid for coverage, because you can buy coverage as part of your submission for extra money, and I did not do that. I don't think that's the case, because I don't think Screencraft would do that. It's kind of unethical, and I know some people over at that organization, and they're good people. It's a good organization. I don't believe that that's the issue. So that kind of leaves us with either this idea of we're going to encourage diversity among the people that we know aren't going to win, or there's another possibility, and that's that they used a bunch of readers who just don't know what they're doing, and people just pick really bad scripts for whatever reason. And I don't know. I really don't know, and it's bothered me, and it kind of took a little talk out of my sails over the past month. So I haven't really done any writing. I did do some marketing. I took come-ups, which we're now calling Nowhere to Run, and so far I have sent out about 30 query letters using the Hollywood Screenwriting Directory from the Writer Store, and that has had some issues. About half of those query submissions have been kicked back as wrong email addresses. So the information in there so far is running about 50% inaccurate, which is tough considering how much you pay for that directory to have that kind of information not right. And I know things change quickly in this business, and so some of that information will go out of date quickly, but still 50% seems a little high. As I go along, that number may come down. I may have just hit a batch right off the bat. So another thing that kind of took a little wind out of the sails. And then this last week back at Rewrites, we had a very large group. We had a bunch of new people in, and it was a large group. So we're trying to get through everyone's reading, and some of the new people, it's like they've never read a script before, and they decided to write one. One guy brought in his first 10 pages, and it was the opening credits. He literally wrote out the opening credits and how he wanted them to look, how he wanted them to feel, how they was going to play out, the camera angles, how the camera's going to zoom through the mist here and come up on this character, and we're going to have this big graphic come across the screen, and then it moves over here, and this person ghosts in out of the fog, and we have this other big graphic, and we're listing all the names of all the actors who are playing all these different roles. And it was 10 pages. It was literally 10 pages of opening credits. And so when we got to the talkback and give some critique, and I was like, well, it's a little long, and you probably shouldn't really worry about the credits. Just write the story. Marketing and everyone, they will figure out the design. And they're like, no, but I have a very specific idea of how I want this to be, and this is how it has to be done. And it's like, that's not how the business works, dude. It's just not. So you've just spent all this time creating this thing that no one's going to pay attention to. And you've taken up valuable acreage, valuable space on your pages that could be going to story. And anybody that you send the script to who's going to read,
they're 10 pages into this and they haven't gotten to a story yet. They've gotten to nothing. All they've gotten is this big glorified special effects opening of credits. It doesn't tell us anything about the story, and you just would not understand that. And so I asked him, well, who are these actors that you're listing? Who are these names? He goes, oh, they're friends of mine that I want to play the roles. And I'm going to shoot this opening and use this as a teaser to try and get someone to buy the script. I was like, well, first of all, nobody knows who these actors are, so you're not impressing anybody by putting these actors in the piece. They're nobody. No one's going to go, I want Joe Schmo to play the role of Basil. They're just not going to do it. And if they buy your script and they're going to produce it, they're going to cast their own people in it. They're not going to cast your friends. So why are you wasting time, money, making this teaser trailer for something that's not going to be seen or get you what you want? And you've taken up valuable, 10 pages is a lot of page to take out of your story just for credits. But he was not having it. This is, it's my story. I'm like, well, you're right. It's your story. You can do what you want. But you've come into this group now and you're asking for our opinion, and we're giving it to you, and you're going, I don't like your opinion. I'm not going to follow it. Well, then don't ask us. Because now you've wasted our time, when we can be looking at other people's scripts, who actually have an idea how the business works and can actually write a story. So I don't like my time being wasted. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm finally starting to get out of the funk, and I've been kicking over some ideas. I got a couple of things that I want to play around with and figure out. I got 5 days left for the month. So I got to do a lot of writing the next 5 days if I want to try and get my quota for the month and get a kickstart on one of these ideas, because October is supposed to be dedicated to Everyday Clowns. And I was hoping to at least get a good start on another screenplay this month. And I don't know if I'm going to get a good start, but I'll get something. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for letting me vent. It's just one of those down periods where you're just angry at everything. So hopefully by next month, I'll be back on a roll again, and this will be in the past, and I'll let it go. But yeah, there are times as a writer when you get down on yourself, you get down on the business, you get down on other people, because it is stressful. There's a lot going on, and you got to be aware of that, and you got to kind of check yourself. Then when you start getting mad at other people and looking for motivations and why things happen, sometimes things just happen because they happen, and you gotta remind yourself of that and not let it get to you the way it did me. So, trying to be transparent and open, and just letting everybody know that this is what happens sometimes when you go through this. I'll be fine. I'll get over it. And next month maybe a lot of great things will happen. Let's cross those fingers and hope. Anyway, I hope your writing is going well on your end of this screen, and I will talk to you again probably next week and let you know how the month turned out and where we're going in October. Until then, I'm William Gilmore for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. Please keep writing.